There's no shortage of finger pointing these days in Frankfort between Governor Beshear and the Republican-controlled General Assembly. The back and forth focuses on funding for social services, Medicaid, and senior meals. On June 24th, a large group attended the Medicaid Oversight and Advisory Board meeting after funding cuts to the Lee Specialty Clinic in Louisville. The only clinic of its kind in Kentucky provides help for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The next day, Governor Beshear announced he planned to move $4.5 million from a planned renovation to the Capitol Annex to the Lee Specialty Clinic.
These cuts are wrong. And frankly, it really hurts to know our neighbors are needlessly suffering, because when we said, if we want to keep all these services open, we need this amount of money, the supermajority said, nope, we're going to give you a lot less, but you go try to find it.
A ball got dropped, and for some reason, the patients became the ball in whatever game was going on. I just ask that it stop. This is not a political issue. I have my politics. We all do. Okay? That's not what this is about. This is really about human lives. We have people who rely on this clinic.
In a statement, House Speaker David Osborne says the governor created a crisis just so he can appear to save the day. Osborne says funding for the Lee Specialty Clinic was in the budget all along and calls Beshear's handling of the issue, quote, irresponsible and unnecessarily cruel. Let's jump on into this very difficult topic. We're going to start with you, Representative Derek Lewis. It feels like the executive branch and the legislature's Republican leadership are kind of pointing at each other here. What's going on?
Yeah, Abby, the budget was very contentious, but we do have to face the reality. You know, next to education, Medicaid is one of our biggest expenses as a state. That being said, you know, we are seeing Medicaid enrollment decline, and that is before the work requirements or anything else. With the governor in relation to that, you know, sadly, I agree with him. I chair regulations. I work with his cabinet secretaries. They've been great, but oftentimes there's a lack of communication there. We did fund Medicaid, but we want the governor, and this is through House Bill 2, to find ways to decrease cost. You know, as for finger pointing, I'm not interested in doing that, but at the same time, you know, our people want solutions, not partisan sound bites.
And what's driving this request to drive costs down, do you think?
Well, I mean, if you look back in 2025, Auditor Ball came out with over $800 million in where we were covering people who were living in other states on Medicaid. And let's be honest, it's state government, just like federal government. There's plenty of room for efficiencies.
Sure, sure. Representative Bojanowski, we'll move to you. So many of the issues and programs involved in this controversy impact real people. It sounds like both of you are kind of interested in ways to remove the politics from the situation. How do you recommend that we go about that?
So I think we need to listen to the voices of the people who are truly impacted. So my son was diagnosed with autism when he was 2.5 years old. And we, so fortunately, are not in the situation that a lot of other parents are. But like, I read an op-ed by a woman named Caroline Johnson, who has a 20-year-old son with profound autism. And here's what she said: I do not care who started it. I do not care about the balance of power between the executive branch and the legislative majority. I care about whether my son will have his behavior therapist next week. And so part of what I want to do coming into the General Assembly, because I have the capacity to advocate for others, for the moms who are caring for kids who are so involved that they can't take their eyes off of them. You know, how can we stop this back and forth and just get to the bottom of things and make sure, because time after time I saw Jason Nemus make a post that we are not intending on taking away the services of the Lee Specialty Clinic. So what is actually going on? There were budget cuts, and how does the decision become made to cut one area versus another? That's what I'd really like to get to the bottom of.
Great point. Lots of moms and dads involved in both of these. Do you have a rebuttal?
I'll just add, you know, I think MOAB, the Medicaid Oversight Advisory Board, has a great place and a great role in this, as well as appropriations and revenue. I meet monthly with Dr. Stack, or Secretary Stack, regarding regulations. I'd like to see more of that. But, you know, I will say we put $290 million in a lockbox, just in the off chance that, hey, we do need to shore this up, and we can come back and do that in January. But yeah, I think it's important that we do protect our most vulnerable, and obviously we'd like to work together to have these cuts and putting these provider cuts in, the 1 month after the fiscal year starts, I don't think that's necessary, and I think we need to reverse course on that.
Sure, sure. Well, Governor Beshear has twice now referenced what he calls a Taj Mahal new parking garage for lawmakers. What is he talking about?
So we are redoing the annex. I haven't seen all the details on that. I did see the comments, and it's my understanding that Kentucky State Police recommended a security area be done. But I will also say the same Kentucky State Police recommended the security fencing around the governor's mansion. So I don't get the comment.
Representative Bojanowski, we'll finish this section up with you, with each side pointing at the other. How does this issue get resolved?
Well, I think for me, what I need is more information. So I did a deep dive into what does the governor's budget say, what does the General Assembly budget say, and we had a lot of discussions this session about what was in the base. And we even added it to our session playlist, it's in the base, is the song. So what is in the base, and how is the money appropriated, not just the total, but per department, per specifics, and I couldn't figure that out even looking at the governor's budget. I've asked for that information. I haven't gotten it yet, but the more we know on a very granular level, the more we can know. So if we knew on a granular level that the Lee Specialty Clinic wasn't going to get their base funding and they were only going to get the 700-something thousand, we could have brought that up during the budget process. And it's quite a surprise. And nothing, as much as I prepared and looked at the budget, nothing that I was able to eke out.
Yeah, and I'd agree with Representative Bojanowski. The only other thing I'll add is the executive branch was very slow at bringing in their request to Appropriations and Revenue, and those guys work really hard. Representative Bowling, Petrie, Bray, all those guys, they're working on 2 years from now, right now. Right. So working hand in hand, and like Bojanowski said, if we could have that information to really do a deep dive as far as what's in the base, it'd be very helpful.
We're going to have to cut